Good afternoon, everyone. This is Angie Yazlotis at the Yazzo Group. I'm here again with Heather McKinney from heathermckinney.com, and we're excited to be with you, giving you another little glimpse into wellness and essential oils. As you know, Heather is quite the expert in essential oils and wellness. Again, if you want to take a look at her complete bio, you can go to heathermckinney.com to see that. But just a little starting point. Again, our topic today is communication, speak for success, which I'm super excited about hearing. And if you haven't joined us before, which you'll know first time you join us live or listen to one of our recordings, is that Heather tries to keep the topics to 10, 20-minute increments where you can just learn, get motivated about a particular topic. And then if you want to stay on the line with her during a live event, she opens up the audience to questions. So that's a really fun part of participating with heathermckinney.com. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Heather. Heather, excited to have you again.
Thank you, Angie. I'm excited to be here. This is another great day, and we're halfway through the month of December, so this is an exciting time of the year. Lots of things going on, and communication is really an important topic, especially this time of year. You may be speaking with people you haven't seen in a while, speaking with new people at events and functions. So I think it's really important whether you're talking about from a corporate standpoint or even just your everyday life, meeting new people, socializing, maybe with your spouse's work environment or your kids' functions at the schools. Speaking is really important to think about and how you carry yourself. Not just in a corporate setting. This truly is a topic that's designed for everybody to benefit for. So let's go ahead and jump in. And I want to share that in the future in case you have to jump out or you want to share this with somebody you think of, have them check out heathermckinney.com. And previous recordings are there as well. We will have an event next month, so keep your email in check and stay tuned for that. And of course, you can always email me at growshinethrive@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. So here we go. It's time. Let's jump into Grow, Shine, and Thrive. So you may say, when people communicate, you can either use a difficult communication style, and you end up with a difficult reality, a clear communication style, and get a very clear reality, but also a good communication style and reach out and have a good reality happen. So obviously, if you are available to see the PowerPoint, you can see the direct correlation here. If your reality, and you can also go backwards, if you feel that your reality is difficult, maybe check out your communication style. That's an area that you have power over changing. And a lot of people say, my life is so challenging, everything's awful, everything's difficult, right? Some things we can have an influence over, and some things maybe we can't. But your communication style, you do have an impact on that, you have a say in that, and you have choices. So if your life is very clear and crisp and concise, maybe that's a direct correlation with your communication style. If you wake up and you feel, my life is good, I have a good life, everything's great, check your communication style. Maybe things are going really well with how you speak. And you can also use that to help others in your life that may be going through a difficult time. So this topic will give you some tips for yourself and for others. So when we think about communication, I really believe that effective communication is an important and essential key to your success, your personal success, to grow, shine, and thrive. The way you choose to communicate also really helps to create your reality. So again, the previous slide was that connection. Look at your reality, look at your style. See how they're correlated. And when you learn to identify not only your communication style, you will feel more confident and have a say in your life, but you'll also be able to relate and network and connect with others and maybe step out of a situation and evaluate, what is their communication style? Maybe that's where there's a discord or a disconnect happening. So it gives you the ability to maybe not take things so personal and put that as a block, but instead rise above it, use your awareness, and use that information to help you to have a successful experience. This also connects with learning to be flexible. The more you learn about your communication styles, you can, again, rise above maybe a challenging situation or something that's awkward or uncomfortable and say, what is really going on here? And it gives you the flexibility to change your life and change situations. So what is communication? If you're new to this topic, this is a very basic diagram, but hopefully it makes sense. There's really just three main components in a communication experience. The person that's sending the information, the channel or the media, the way the communication is sent, and the receiver of that information. That can be in person, that can be over social media, whatever it is, that is all there really is to communication style. And when we look at different places we communicate, we can use it in person. Virtually is very common. The phone, old school, but very effective. Email, instant messenger, and social media. And just quickly, you can have a whole topic on each of these topics, the whole day on each of these topics. But I just wanted to give you an overview of these different styles and ways you communicate on a daily basis. So which is best, you may ask, or people ask me that a lot. Which is the best way to communicate if I'm trying to be more effective at it? And I really think that it depends. You have to ask yourself, and you also ask the other person. Learn the pros and cons of each style for the different people and different situations. Sometimes you may need it in writing. Email is great for that. Sometimes you don't, and you just need a more personal connection. Virtual, phone, and sometimes even instant messenger is a better connection for that personal feel. So I think for me personally, I am a person-to-person connection type of being. So I do love the in-person connection when possible. I realize it's not always possible, and sometimes it's not time effective as well. So that's where you look at other styles. Again, think about what's best for you and the other person, but also the situation so that you're effective in your communication. Virtual, phone, email, instant messenger, social media. Again, you can check these out and see what's best for you. So here are your holiday tips from me. And I know they're important. I know right now this webinar is being broadcasted over the December month, but truly we will have it live for you to listen to and recorded on the website, because it does matter all year, not just this time of year. But whenever conflict arises, these are some quick tips to think about and ask yourself. And if you get stuck on any of these questions, these are areas for you to explore. We also have some support ideas at heathermckinney.com in your personal development section, the growth section. So you can keep connecting to the website to dig deeper into each of these. But ask yourself if you can breathe. If you can't even breathe when you're having a discussion with somebody, you're not even going to be able to think correctly, to be quite honest. It's that fundamental. So take a moment and breathe. Think about what you said. Think about what your thoughts were. How did you respond, maybe to somebody else? How did they respond? And you start to increase your intuition. You increase your communication, the verbals and the nonverbals, when you really look at all these questions. So if you're not in touch with your feelings and touchy-feely, that's absolutely okay. You can definitely know when you feel happy, sad, or angry, even if you just stick with those emotions. So really check into that, see your tone of your conversation, and what did you expect to happen based on that communication. A couple other things to think about. What patterns arrive in your life? Do you constantly have conflict with somebody? Or are you constantly being successful in your meetings and in your conversation? Look at your patterns. Are there patterns that help you to thrive, or are there some that block you from thriving? And just examine those. Think about any judgments that you think about with a person before you even meet them or before the conversation even happens, and try to set those aside. Those judgments come in and definitely influence what we say and think and feel, and perhaps they're not even helping you be successful. What is your goal in your conversation? What results are you looking for? And why, most importantly, why is this important to you? Why is this communication important? Is it a personal connection? Is it family? Is it friends? Is it for business? Is it to help your kids thrive? Why are you having this communication? And that can help you really think about the importance it has in your life. What else? Two other things. What else do you need to express? Sometimes we hold things back, and maybe it doesn't need to be said in words. Maybe you can express it in other ways, or find other ways to express yourself. And what do you need to express yourself? This also ties into communicating with nonverbals and your lifestyle. See ways that are authentic and real to you, and express yourself in ways that help your heart to grow, shine, and thrive. So here are some things to think about. What happens during communication? When we communicate, all of these, we have 10 things listed here, and all of these are either potentially impacted or actually impacted when we communicate with people. You may not think about it, but it does happen. So I really like to bring light to important topics in your life. So when you communicate, changes are happening in your mind, that's the mental, in your body, your emotions, your spirit, the environment around you. As you communicate, the environment changes in terms of opportunities in your life. Your daily routine can change, your relationships, that's an obvious one, financial situations, and your energy. There might be other aspects that you think about, but these are the top ones that I really see impacted in communication. This is something to think about. We did go over this last month when we talked about diffusion of innovation, and it's a chart you will see me bring up over and over again, because I really think it's important you just have this in your visual memory to assess whatever the situation is. Where are you in this chart? Although this is an innovation chart, I really truly believe it can be applied across the board in many different topics. So where are you in a conversation, or maybe a communication that's happening? Are you the initiator of that conversation and that change in that process? Do you like the conversation? Do you like the communication that's happening? Look at social media. Look at that as an option. Are you an initiator of that, or an early adopter? Or are you saying, I don't even want a smartphone. Don't make me buy one of those. Well, just look where you are. And that's okay. Just be honest with yourself. Realize where you are. This decreases stress. The more you learn and the more aware you become, decrease your stress, increase your awareness. It also gives you an impression and an appreciation, hopefully, for where someone else may be with their communication style. So just because you're in different places or like to do different things for your communication, start to realize if somebody else enjoys something, maybe they're an earlier adopter on that, or they're part of the early majority. Maybe you're not jumping into that yet, and that's okay. But just realize it's just part of the process. And hopefully that is not a separation then between the two of you communicating. You can find a way to communicate. As you're thinking about communication, what are your thought patterns? Are they helping or hindering your own success? And truly ask yourself on a continual basis, what is working and what is not working? Try to release and let go and learn from whatever is not working. Release it, reset it, let it go, and then you have the space in your mind and heart and life to really focus on what is working. And as we get closer to the end of our discussion here, really think about how you can keep your body moving. So in these webinars, we do focus on the importance of your body, your mind, and your emotions coming together for your wholeness, your whole support, that focus of holology, which we weave into our webinars and our conversations. I really believe if you ever do feel stuck, don't let yourself get stuck. Move. Keep moving. If you're in an awkward situation, awkward conversation, or communication situation in your life right now, get up and move. Go to the gym. Go for walks. Depending on where you live, you have different opportunities, of course. But really move your body outwardly, move it inwardly, absorb good nutrients, expel out toxins, and help yourself to function. So continue to explore. This was just an overview of really, really important topics for communication. Stick with coming into heathermckinney.com, and you will find different resources to help you explore, to de-stress and discover success. Use your vision board, reflect and revise that. Stay tuned for our website and future webinars, and we enjoy having you with us. At this point, this covers the core content of our webinar for Speak for Success, and I will also be happy to share with you, if you'd like to hang in with me a little bit and more of a personal note, some things that I use in my daily life and our family uses to keep ourselves healthy and to help us decrease that stress in high, maybe intense communication situations.
I'm really excited to hear this part, because we got a ton of questions coming in on communication, what they can do to enhance that. So I think this is fantastic. I'm excited to learn.
Thank you. The 3 essential oils that I find I reach for, so when I share these with you, these are truly coming from my own personal life. These people ask me all the time, what do you do in this situation? What do you do? What do you do? And that's why these webinars came to birth, really. They came to life. They came to light. I just want everybody to have access to the information that I would love to share with you on a one-on-one basis, but maybe we haven't met yet, or we don't see each other, so this is a way for me to share this with you. The lavender, the peace, and the On Guard oils are 3 that I really reach for and enjoy at different times of communication. And as well, for bonus support, I do personally like the DigestZen soft gels and the Terrazyme. Those are helpful. Terrazyme and DigestZen are helpful for the digestive system. So we'll just jump into these really quickly and learn a little bit more about each oil. So the lavender oil, if you've heard of lavender, I have to be honest with you, I always thought I was allergic to lavender. Did I tell you that?
No, that's interesting.
I did, because my mom, God love her, when I was in school and college, she would send me some aromatherapy, just from the mall, let's say, or a store, or whatever. She would buy it, and I would always have reactions. I just didn't realize the quality and the integrity of that oil made the difference.
Right.
So I would always have a reaction, not feel well, maybe head discomfort or breathing discomfort, and I came to find out that it was the synthetics that I didn't like.
Okay.
I liked the idea of what lavender was supposed to do. It's just my body wasn't processing through that synthetic option. So everybody is different. Just sharing with you from my journey, one of the oils that really made an impact in my life, and what drew me to this particular brand of essential oils, because it was, when I was able to use it, I realized it was a completely different ballgame, completely different playing field. So when you're using lavender for therapeutic reasons and something that's pure, it truly can help soothe your skin, reduce anxiety, the anxious feelings that may come about. It promotes peaceful sleep, and it can help relax your nervous system. So if you're going into a stressful situation, an option is to put 1 drop of lavender on your wrist, rub it on, breathe it in, or you can put it behind your ears. That's nice because it's warm, and if you have long hair, it kind of changes the smell a little bit, so you can't smell it as much. If you're a gentleman, or even for women that maybe don't like the smell as much, or don't want to have the smell permeate as much, you can just rub it on your stomach, on your belly button, right? Because it's getting into your bloodstream. The gut and the brain connection is another whole topic, but again, it weaves in here because you are a whole being. So just rub that lavender right on your stomach. If it's this brand, you can just use it neat like that. And that's an excellent one to have for communication.
I want it right now.
Can I have some? We can hook you up. You're in the right place. So Peace, this is one I'm excited to share because this is a relatively new oil.
I've never seen this.
And I use it as my perfume.
Oh, wonderful. That's why we smell you today.
It's good. So I put it either on my wrist directly or for gentlemen or women that have either leather bracelets or wooden bracelets, wooden bead bracelets, you can rub the Peace oil right on that leather, on the inside of it, or on a wooden bracelet, and it gets into your bloodstream, so it does its function, but it also smells really, really good. It's a warm, woodsy, calming, peaceful smell. Definitely connects with its name, Peace. But its intention is to counteract that anxious and fearful feeling that may come about with public speaking, communicating with people you either haven't seen again, you don't know what's going on, or you're not sure how the connection is going to be. Have yourself centered and peaceful before you put yourself in a situation that may not be peaceful. So this is a good thing. What's pictured here is the touch roller. It's already diluted and ready to go. So we have all of these on the website.
Fantastic.
And then lastly, the On Guard essential oil. Most people use On Guard as an immune booster, and that is, if you look up its information, I did include it here. It supports healthy immune function and respiratory function. But it also is an uplifting aroma, especially during this time of year when people are in a lot of situations, communicating with a lot of people and pulled in a lot of different directions. Your immune support is really important. And if you're in situations where you don't feel happy or safe or healthy in your communication, but it's in front of you and it is happening and it's something that you have to go through, On Guard is a nice support for that as well. So again, we like to use it all year in various ways, either diffusing it or putting it on the bottom of our feet. But especially this time of year, and when you're in high stress or high situations where you're communicating with a lot of people, you're interacting, things are flying around, so support your immune system.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes what people say to you,
Right.
take it so personally, it almost makes you sick.
You know what? That's a really, if you look at it, it's called the oil of reassurance, and it does really help to protect you and support you, and hopefully feel more strong and solid in yourself, to not necessarily absorb all that information that's coming at you. You can select what is meant to be observed and not absorb it.
Absolutely. I think that's so important.
So some bonus supports that I use. Personally for me, digestion is, the more and more we hear about the digestive system, the gut, the brain, it's just been part of my life for so many years, but the information was not readily available as it is today. So I'm so grateful that this information is now becoming more prominent and more people can be supported in a daily way. This is an easy way that we support ourselves in our home. Digestive enzymes, I like to say I use it with dairy, meat, or wheat. Really, wheat is gluten, so I use it personally when I have overload of dairy, meat, or gluten, just to feel better and process things. But this product helps, maybe those are things that process really well in your body. It also helps with other things, fats, carbs, sugars, and fibers. So taking one of these with your meal helps you absorb nutrients better. Again, when you're in situations where you're communicating with a lot of people, you don't want to have that knot in your stomach. You want your body to be able to process normally, absorb your nutrients, feel more comfortable and calm, and it's because you're actually functioning in a whole way. Also with traveling, both of these, the Terrazyme and DigestZen, if you have to travel, whether it's this time of the year or any time, a lot of people, maybe I'm the only one, but a lot of people, my digestive system used to just basically take a break.
Yeah.
And say, I'll be back whenever you go home. And so now, when we are traveling or doing things, I'm fine. That's absolutely fine, and these are two things that I'm really, really grateful for, because between the TerraZyme and the Digestin support options, and there are options for you, whether you like to consume it or just rub it on your belly, whatever you need, it's there for you. But it really does help if you have that really sensitive body and sensitive energy system where things just kind of are responding to the environment around you. So traveling, communicating with some difficult situations, you can't absorb that. So I'm really helping to try to teach you to observe things and not absorb them. And instead, you can absorb good things like these nutrients and enzymes and digestive supports.
Yeah, this is really good, because I think there's so much, related between communication anxiety and stomach. And I've actually taken courses on that, like when people get anxious from communication, public speakers, like the stomach stuff that happens.
Right.
Putting that in the gut.
It just shuts down. And truly, you're absolutely right, Angie, because when our brain registers that we're under attack or stress, it may not look outwardly that you're, quote, under attack, but inside our bodies and our brain, it's responding as if we were. So you might be in an environment where everybody's really loving and caring and supportive, and they want you to thrive. But if your body and brain is not sensing that same thing, and you're communicating, your stomach, the brain tells your stomach to stop working because digesting food in that moment is not the priority. The priority, if you're under stress, is to get through the moment.
Right.
So if we're at holiday functions, and I know just because it's December I'm talking about that, but truly any time of the year that you're stressed, if you're at functions and communicating and meeting people, and meanwhile your stomach's in a knot, it's truly, think of it as it's telling your brain, this is not a time to be processing food.
So true.
So bringing this all together, it is possible to change, and if you focus on pieces of the journey and steps of the journey rather than this huge, big transformation, the transformation naturally happens. That's the result of you making choices and bringing awareness inwardly, outwardly, bringing things together, taking steps, and really being proactive in your life. So the transformation is the result. And I realize a lot of people just want to jump to the end result. They want to go to the end of that book. They want to see the last chapter, right? But unless you're willing to jump in and make those changes, you may be frustrated. So take your time, jump in, look at those questions we had earlier, those 14 questions for communication. See maybe where you could be supported, and just step into one at a time.
Yeah, I think too, like for me, asking others those communication things about me, like how do I communicate, is a great idea, like to learn.
Yeah, awareness.
Being aware of how you communicate with others and how you can improve, because it's such a huge part of life and relationship.
Right. Yeah. And you may think, or I may think I'm being effective and communicating in a good way, but the other person may not. And so being honest about that, with having the end goal that we both want to be successful, we both want to grow, shine, and thrive. We don't want to block each other. Absolutely. Right? So if we learn and we're open about that, again, that's one step in your change, and then the transformations come.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be real with yourself. You know?
Right.
Get real with yourself.
That's why I love working with you. Keep it real.
Keeping it real.
So you can do it. I believe in you. It's up to you, though. You have to step in and make these changes. Celebrate your life. Celebrate the outcomes that you go through, and keep your vision for your overall transformation.
Okay. So are we getting to the end? Are we?
That's it.
Okay. So I think let's see how we're doing on time, because we do have some questions coming in. We'll spend like 5 minutes on questions and then kind of wrap it up, because I know it's really important for Heather that whenever people go to the website even and they're just listening to the recording, that they can do this in like a half an hour and not really feel burdened, but they have to put
too much time into changing your life.
Yeah. So, but lots of questions coming in. I think this is a really good one. I I think someone's saying, I think my problem with communication is listening. I've been told that.
If they're listening to that, that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, that is a great thing. But are there essential, and then they go on to say, I think it might be because I have ADD or I'm I'm high strung.
Right.
How are there any essential oils that help with listening? And I think it's calming that needs to take place.
Right. I think you have very good intuition. My first response to this person is, first, thank you for speaking up and being honest about something you want to work through and learn about yourself. What I would probably suggest is I would want to learn if the listening was that you're very sensitive and hearing a lot of different information, processing a lot at the same time, and therefore it's hard to select which one is the most important in that moment. Okay, that's one side of listening. When someone has concern with listening, is the information coming in so much, so rapidly from a lot of different sources, a lot of different processing, that you're having a little trouble calming down and discerning where should I focus right now? Or are they blocking themselves off totally, and hardly any information is coming in because they just absolutely do not care, they're not interested, and they don't want to even be involved. So the slightest piece of information comes in, and that's just more than they want. I would look at, for you, whoever wrote this in, and we're happy to email you and respond, but ask yourself this question, because based on that, you may end up using the same oil or a different oil. Too much information, I would say, yes, calming. There's oils for serenity. Frankincense is great for the brain. It really supports the pineal gland and oxygenates your brain. This month and this time of year, it's something people talk about, but it truly is a holy support, and a whole with a W, holy support for you when you have a high quality one. Okay, so if you're I just ask you to be aware of where you're sourcing it from, because good things really can, just one drop can help change your brain. If it's the opposite, and if it's more of being blocked, I would ask you to examine that and maybe see if an awareness opening, feeling balanced, maybe the balance oil or the peace oil would be more supportive for you at this moment. Again, there is overlap, because what we're trying to do is find that balanced point so you can communicate in a focused manner. So the balance oil, the serenity, the peace oil, either way I think would be very helpful.
Yeah, it absolutely sounds perfect for that question. You mentioned, the next one is, you mentioned environment is one of the things that impacts communication.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question is around, do you honestly think that essential oils being in an environment diffused, I guess is what they're talking about, can enhance communication? And maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's in the workplace or.
I think that's a really good point to bring up. I would look at the environment. Diffusing oils in an environment, whether it's your home place, your office place, your car. The car is a great place to diffuse oils. You can put a drop on a wooden clothespin just to make it quick and easy. It's phenomenal. It can keep you awake. It really does change, though, if we're talking about communication. It can change the environment in incredible ways, and it also does not have to be overpowering. This is something I really want you to know. I would love it if you walk into a space and you go, it's clean, it's fresh in here, it feels good, and that's it. You may not even be able to pick out what smell it is. That's the most powerful. You don't need to feel like you're walking into a field of lavender. But in the workplace, I do like citrus oils. Citrus oils are familiar to the brain. They're uplifting. They also help you focus and cleanse out and clean out the stuff that's not important, focus on what it is important. They're just my all-time favorite in a work environment. And there are studies out there showing that it decreases stress, whether it's in a workplace or even in hospital setting. Decreasing stress for a physician in an ER, I would think, would be very important.
Yeah.
you would want to have, the nurses and physicians in an ER. So I think that's a really important thing to examine.
Well, talk about mood and talk about communication, because mood in the workplace can stop communication between coworkers completely.
Absolutely.
Because you get in your head, oh, that person's always in a bad mood. I'm really sharing this with them or talking to them. And then if you have this uplifting environment, wow,
things can change.
Easy and inexpensive.
Right. So we do have that on the website. If you check out at heathermckinney.com the shop tab, there's diffusers in there, and I would check out the citrus oil. Citrus Bliss is one of my husband's favorites, and his workplace to diffuse. That's a good one. Citrus Bliss, straight orange, straight lemon. They're a little lighter, not as aromatic. So if you want something softer, you can think about those too.
Very, very interesting. Let's take one or two more questions. I love this one. I always thought I noticed that you had energy on the list, but I always thought communication was energy. Do you think they're the same thing, or are they different?
That's a good question. For me, the energy exists. Energy exists. Communication is a transmission of that energy.
That's interesting. Good way to put it.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Does that help?
It does. I think that answers probably. I think that's probably something, based on the question, that everybody looks at maybe a little bit different.
Yeah.
The communication definitely can change energy. I know that.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that energy can shift, but I think it's there. It exists, and the impact of that communication can really bring it lighter or not, depending on how that communication is orchestrated.
Yeah. I think this last question is pretty good, but I think it goes back to listening, although it's different. It says communicating a lot in tax and business, and I'll get responses that are not, I guess, expected for what was sent.
Right.
And it's almost like they're not reading the whole thing. Do you have any suggestions for that? I think that's the same as listening. People don't read the whole way through. They respond. They read the first sentence, respond, and haven't read the whole thing. And then you're sitting, because I've had that happen to me, and you're sitting there like, check the first sentence and not the text. Same thing as listening. Like, you don't listen the whole way through. You interrupt.
That's true. And sometimes having an answer ready before the question is finished, right? I have to, that's something I have to work on too. The first thought that comes in, I think that's the right thought sometimes, and maybe I need to sit and be still and hear the whole explanation before my brain jumps in. I think that both of these are very important. Communicating through social media, through text, through even email, I've had it happen to me, both the receiver and the sender, of things I sent. I thought it was positive and quick and easy, respecting people's time, and really it came across as cold and quick and not at all of what I was trying to do. I just was trying to respect their time, and it didn't reflect me as a person, but that in itself took them aback, thinking that I was angry or disappointed or something, and that wasn't the case at all, and vice versa. I've received things that I thought, this isn't in character with them. Am I missing something? When really, maybe they were respecting my time and wanted to be quick. So just be honest and open with people. Maybe say, maybe call them rather than getting into this texting war or social media war. Pick up your phone. Maybe call them and see their face. Connect with them. Connect with your relationship again with them. That's what I would suggest.
Yes, that is so fantastic. That's so fantastic.
Well, thank you for today.
Yeah, I think we're good. We're almost 10 minutes over, so we're going to probably wrap it up there, I think. But again, I'll let Heather wrap this up. But keep joining us every month and keep checking in on the website because we love it.
Sounds great.
Anything you want to share in closing?
I just hope everyone has a great day. And here are some things to think about throughout this month. Hold yourself accountable. whatever changes you want to make to grow, shine, and thrive, really ask yourself what you're doing to make that happen. Just having a wish doesn't mean it's going to end up in a result. I really want you to incorporate the action with this. So ask yourself what you really want, how do you, and make it come alive. Feel yourself being there. And then these questions help it come alive. When do you want it to happen? What goals are part of that? Who will be involved? How does it look, taste, feel? Do these things every month, whether it's communication or change, whatever the topic is, you can weave these in and hold yourself accountable and make yourself grow, shine, and thrive.
That's so fun, so motivating. We hope we hear from all of you.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you next month. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you, Angie. Good to see you.
You too.